How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Nelly's Fishing Adventures. And in today, we have a little tackle tip for you guys. So we're going to talk a little bit about fishing rods. Mostly about fishing rod with cork handles. Now, I got to ask you guys. Have you guys ever heard of sealing the cork in your handles? And if you have, are you a fan of it? Are you not? Are you not? Tell me why. Now, I've asked a few friends what they think about cork sealing. I've had replies from, I don't like how the cork seal looks. I like the look of a worn cork. Makes me feel like I've used the rod. Other guys, just laugh about it and say, I let my sweat and the fish lime seal my cork. Me personally, I'm a very aesthetic person when it comes to a lot of my stuff. I like to keep some stuff pretty neat. And the cork on my fishing rods is one. I hate it. I hate looking at worn out cork on fishing rods. I think it's a terrible look, me personally. Now, I have some people say that they're scared that the cork is gonna get slippery. No, not the case. I've been sealing cork on all my cork rods, and I'm gonna show you guys right now. Okay, so this is my Daiwa Tula glass rod. This is my bladed jig rod, and it's also my deep cranking rod. I'll change up the reel sometimes for deep cranking because right now I have 15-pound fluorocarbon, straight fluorocarbon that I use for bladed jigs. Anyway, that's not the topic of today. The topic is the cork. Yes, when the cork is sealed, it looks a lot shinier, right? A lot of guys say the cork gets slippery. The rod is gonna slip off my hand when I'm fighting a fish. And you know what? Maybe it does get a little slippery than cork without sealer. But think about this. When you are holding a rod, you are not holding it here and reeling like this. Maybe people that are new to using bait casters hold the rod like this and reel it. But all of us that have been using bait casters or fishing rods for a while, where do you hold your rod from? We palm that reel. Our grip is in that reel all time, and no, the cork does not get slippery. You are holding the rod and reel. From here, you're palming the reel. Your torque is on the reel. Your leverage is on the reel. Where does the rod handle go? Goes underneath your elbows, against your ribs. Whatever you do to fight the fishing, that's where it goes. So no, the cork does not get slippery. Another thing we gotta put into the fact of why should I seal my cork? If you're someone like me, I like to sell my gear. I like to buy and sell. I usually use my rods for 2 years, sell them, and then upgrade. This rod is probably the one I've kept the longest. 3 seasons now. This season will be the 4th, and I'm probably gonna get rid of it this year. If I'm gonna go buy a used rod, I don't want to buy a rod that has a cork falling off and all dirty and whatever. I want to buy a rod that looks like this. The cork is immaculate. Now, the sealer does give it a little bit of a darker tint, but like I said, this rod is 3 seasons old, and it still looks mint. Here's my Mega Bass Destroyer. Same thing. This one only has cork here. And here's my Shimano Corrado. You can see full cork handle. Okay, so now that I showed you guys what the sealed cork is and what my opinion is on it, I'm going to show you guys the process I use when it comes to sealing a brand new rod. Okay, so right here we have my Shimano Compre. This is my musky rod. You can see here this is a full cork handle, and it's a really long handle. There's a lot of cork to seal over here. So I'm going to start with the process of sealing. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my reel and just get that out of the way. So I've actually used this rod once, and I used it with the plastic on. I bought it last year late in the, almost like in the beginning of fall. So I left the plastic on because I knew I wanted to seal the cork. And obviously I was just excited to use it. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and carefully remove the plastic wrapping and prepare the rod for cork sealing. In my next step, I'm going to grab a little bit of masking tape and I'm going to place it around all the areas where I don't want the sealer to get in. Okay, so this is the cork sealer I use. I know they do sell cork sealers made for fishing rods. I know Taco Warehouse sells it, but I couldn't find it here in Canada. Now, I was able to find this one. This is called Soft Mock. It's from a shoe company. You can find it in the shopping malls here. And it works great for sealing the cork on the fishing rods. So if you live in the Greater Toronto area, I'm pretty sure there's a few of these stores out there. I personally went to Vaughan Mills, walked into the store, and when you walk in the women's shoe area, there's they have a stand for the shoes that woman wears that have those big cork. I think they call them wedges. Pick one of these bottles up. It's super cheap. It's about $8. And the one interesting thing is that it kind of looks like glue, kind of smells like glue. There maybe is something similar to glue to it. If you guys remember when you were kids in school and you put glue in your hands and you let it dry and then just like kind of peel off, that's kind of what it feels like, but it does feel a little more durable than what dry glue feels like. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna apply some cork sealer to the rod. Something to keep in mind, I am sealing a brand new rod, so cleaning is not really necessary. If I was sealing a used rod that was dirty and worn out, I would first go and wipe the rod down with Lysol wipes. Then I would go ahead and give the cork a light sanding with like a 200 grit sandpaper. Wipe it down with a damp cloth, let it dry, and then I would go ahead and seal the cork. So let's go ahead and I'll show you guys how I apply the cork sealer. I'm just gonna put this under the rod so I can kind of elevate it and the rod is not touching the table. So as you can see here, the bottle comes with a nice little brush. You can now see what I was telling you, that it kind of looks like glue. You're gonna apply a nice light layer to it. Apply it all around the cork. A thin layer, doesn't have to be super thick. I know it looks like it's really thick right now, so once you're done applying your layer, go with like a lint-free cloth. I have like an old towel I have here, and wipe down the excess. After you wipe down the excess, you want to give it about 20 minutes before you go ahead and apply a second coat. A second coat is totally up to you. In the previous rods that I showed you guys, on most of them I only did one coat. This rod, because it's such a big handle, I might go with 2 coats. I don't know, it depends how it looks like when I'm done with the first coat, but most of them I just do the 1 coat. You can see here I'm just kind of like just brushing down to make sure, you know, it's all covered. And like I said, after this I'm gonna go ahead and remove the excess with a lint-free towel. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do the same process for the back part of the handle. Again, a thin coat, apply it, wipe down the excess. A little tip I might add here is, once it's dry and you run your hand through the cork and you feel like those little bumps, it's because the area you were working on wasn't completely clean. You want to keep your work area as clean as possible. You know, sometimes dust particles or whatever, right, can stick to this and you won't get a smooth finish. But that has an easy fix. Just grab a little piece of like 200 grit sandpaper, give it a quick sanding. Like, don't sand it down to the bare cork, just a quick sanding to get rid of that dust or whatever got stuck to the cork. Then give it a wipe down and apply your second coat. I'm telling you, if you do that, the results are incredible. Super smooth handle. In my case here, I just did the one coat, and I think I'm gonna wait and see how it looks when I'm done. The cork kind of changes color when it dries. It gets, like I said before, it gets a little darker. I might give it a second coat just to give that little touch, you know, that little bit darker tint to it. So here's the fishing rods. I'm really happy how they turned out. As I was telling you guys, you see the nice Cork Seal gives it a nice little darker tint to it. Here's the one we just sealed. I ended up giving it 2 coats, and it looks great, guys. Now your cork is not going to disintegrate. It's not going to get dirty, and if it does get dirty because you get mud, fish slime, weed slime, whatever on it, a quick wipe down with some Lysol wipes, a damp towel, and you're good to go. I hope this video helped you out. I hope this was a great tip for you guys. If you had doubts about sealing your cork, or you had doubts about using any other chemical besides that one that Taco Warehouse sells, which I forget the name right now, at least now you know that we have this product here from the shoe stores. You can use it, it's safe, and it does great results. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.